Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. Right, so this is the second round draw for the 20th edition of the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. The first round was absolutely brutal, let's be honest. It started with 30 of you, but there are now only 12 people left in this. So that's nearly 2/3 of you gone already. So we'll just quickly remind ourselves of who actually survived that absolute purge of the first round. When this screen bloody loads, we'll go over those names. Here we are. We've got A. Boom Shakalaka, Captain Kavek, C. Collins 44, Costradamus, Damien Handel 420, Mason 0, Rigno, me, Stephen Terry, don't know how that happened. Hi Sumagamedov, Maidov, rather, apologies if I butchered that one. The MMA historian, and ex-con Chris. So that's they're the 12 people battling it out. The Dirty Dozen battling it out for the to make it through to the third round and ultimately win this thing. Why is my screen sharing being paused? I don't want it to be paused. I want it to be live. There we go. Go back to this thingy. There we go. I think that's right now. Anyway, excuse me, but anyway, for the second round, we've got UFC Fight Night: Jared Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov, and you have to excuse me here. I've got a bit of a cough at the moment, but but yeah, no. Anyways, Cannonier versus Imanov. It's an interesting fight because obviously Cannonier's circling around the sort of title picture. Also trying to get back up there, and he's doing well. He's beat Sean Strickland, beat Martin Vettori. He's got some good wins to keep himself in that top position. Imanov, on the other hand, he's trying to sort of crack into the top 5 of the division, and this is a very tough test for him to try and do that, in my opinion. It's excuse me, sorry, but yeah, very tough test for him. Overall, I think Jared Cannonier is he's gonna get the better of him. I don't think it's gonna be anything spectacular. I know if you look at the poster here, one thing I do like about it is says it's got all the stats for each fighter listed, and looking at that, you'd say 10 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission, 7 first round finishes for Cannonier. But realistically, his last few fights have gone the distance, and he sort of looked fairly comfortable. Looked fairly comfortable in doing so. And I think it's going to be a similar kind of game plan for him against Simon. Jesus Christ. Just take a lemsip or something. Anyway, but Jared Cannonier for a decision win is my pick. Obviously, you're not here for that. You're not here to listen to me rambling on. Not that I can really, given my voice at the moment, but you're here to see you get drawn with. And first up, we have A. Let's see who he's going with. If the wheel works, there we go. And he gets Punahele Soriano. I've probably butchered that one, but it's fun to pronounce it that way anyway. Punahele Soriano. Why is this taking so bloody long? It's not even. I've just typed the whole name in and nothing's coming up. Here, hang on. There we go. Oh, the computer's extra slow tonight, but anyway, let's see what else we've got with Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Have where is he on this card? I can't even read my fucking nose. I need to write these things out neater, but here we go. Yeah, smack bang in the middle of the card. Up against Miguel Baeza. Soriano's lost his last four of last 4 out of 5, which are the only 4 losses in his career. He had a good streak up until then, but so he'll be looking to turn it around. Whether Miguel Baeza is the opponent to do that against, I don't think so. I've got Baeza by a second round knockout for that one, so I'm not overly confident. Is what I'm going to say for you, But some stranger things have happened, and if a fighter gets desperate to break a streak, then maybe that could be a factor. So I'll give him an extra boost to motivation that he'll need. Anyway, Boom Shakalaka up next. And he gets the opponent, Miguel Baeza, or however it's pronounced. I mean, I can't pronounce these names for shit when normal. With my voice half dead, is even worse. Wouldn't be able to pronounce John Smith right or something. But yeah, as I said, I've got Bears to win by second round knockout there, and not really a lot read into it. I just can't see Soriano breaking that poor streak he's got going at the moment, and yeah, that's basically it really. Just just can't see him snapping out of that 4-fight losing streak anytime soon. If I'm being honest, I try and be optimistic, try and play devil's advocate, but I can't really see any way that Bieza doesn't win this, to be honest. But who knows? Anyway, that's a slightly more positive pick anyway of the fights, and head to head straight away. First two down, they're fighting each other. Well, not literally. I mean, they can if they want. I mean, if A and Boom Shakalaka want to scrap out for real, that's up to them. But let's just let them scrap it out figuratively rather than literally. Captain Quebec next to take on Will. Montana De La Rosa for Captain Quebec. Montana De La Rosa. And to be honest, I was quite surprised when I saw this that Andrea Lee was actually the slight favourite for this fight last time I checked. Because, in all honesty, I don't see any way Montana De La Rosa does not win this. I've got her to win by decision, but uh, with Andrea Lee, she lost her last 4 fights by decision, and she's tough enough to stay in there. She's not going to get stopped, but at the same time, she's never really looked like doing anything to win the fights, if that makes sense. She's just not looked dangerous in there. She's just not. She hasn't really brought the fight to her opponents all that much, really. And De La Rosa, yeah, okay, she's got a bit of a bad streak going at the moment, but overall, she's the better fighter, in my opinion. Well, more well-rounded. So I think that's a very good pick there for Captain Quebec. And I'm not quite sure why the bookies have it as close as it is. C. Collins, 44, next to take on the wheel. And just like A earlier in the game, he gets Punahele Soriano, and also obviously puts him up against Boom Shakalaka as well. So it's become a bit of a tradition now that that every round has sort of one fight where there's a few people lumped in on that same fight or on the same fighter, and yeah, for like I say, with 4 out of 12 down already, 3 of them have got the same fight. So yeah, I think this is going to be that fight. I think Bernal Soriano versus Miguel Baeza is going to be the the main event, the Lucky Bastard main event tomorrow night. As I said, Soriano the underdog in that one, in my opinion. But we shall see. Costradamus up next to take on the wheel. And he gets Denise Gomez. Denise Gomez there for Costradamus. And yeah, again, that's another underdog one in my opinion. She's up against Eduarda Mora, who, to be honest, until her last fight, I had no clue who the fuck she was. But having gone and sort of seen the highlights of some of her previous fights, she's just been a submission machine. She's just been submitting everybody that she's been up against. She did that on the Contender Series as well. 10-0, undefeated. Okay, you can argue that means she's just not really been tested all that much, but Denise Gomez, I don't think she's going to be the one to derail this little streak she's got going. I think it's just going to be another stepping stone on the along the way for Eduarda Mora. Obviously, trying to build her up a little bit, but I don't see any way she doesn't win it. She's got to be one of the heaviest favourites on the card. I haven't actually scribbled down what her odds were, but I'd imagine they're pretty high. Or short, rather, actually. That's what I mean to say, but you know what I mean. But bet your mortgage gets peanuts in return, kind of exchange for that. But but no, I'm not overly confident in your pick, I'm afraid, Costradamus. Damien Handel, 420, next to take on the wheel. Let's see who's going to be sharing the corner with. Also with Denise Gomez. So yeah, that's a death sentence for both of you. I'm sorry, but it is. That's how I see that fight. It's I can't see Denise Gomez getting a win there. So yeah, best of luck, but I'm not hopeful. I think you're going to get submitted. I didn't actually say the specific one, but obviously if you haven't already taken a stab at it, I've gone my first round sub for Eduarda Mora. So yeah, no, I'm not confident in his chances either, to be honest, I'm afraid. Right, go on to Mason Zero. Next take on the wheel. Let's see who's he's going to be drawn with for tomorrow night's action. And he gets Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira there for Mason Zero. Ferry IRA. IRA. EIRA. Or something like that. And again, a little bit more good news. I've actually got him to win by first round knockout. That's my pick. He's a very entertaining fighter because he's won 4 out of his last 5 by knockout. The other one he lost was also by knockout. So one way or another, there's going to be a knockout. And Dustin's Stolitzvus, he's a dangerous puncher as well. He's got not quite as dangerous as Bruno Ferreira, and he has lost by KO a few times, which is partly why I've gone with Ferreira for the first round knockout. It's just going to come out all guns blazing, and I reckon one of them's going to land. So yeah, that's probably one of my most confident picks of the card. That one. Rigno to take on the wheel. Let's see who he's going to be paired with. And another one for our main event, Miguel Baeza there for Rigno. So that's, what's that, 2v2 now, is it? Miguel Baeza, Soriano. Yeah, one for Soriano, one for Baeza. Yep, so that's 2 each. So you've got Boom Shakalaka and Rigno with Miguel Baeza. And A and C Collins 44 with Punahele Soriano. So that's yeah, politically it's an interesting fight. So for the first for our main event there, as I've mentioned about 3 or 4 times now, Miguel Baez has got him to win by a second round knockout. It's he's the one I fancy the more of the two sides to that war. Me, Stephen Terry, up next. Let's see if I can make it through to a third round. I don't know if I have ever got through to a third round. And I've got Charles Radke. Charles Radke there for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been worse. I have admittedly picked my opponent Carlos Prates to win by first round knockout, but yeah, no, it doesn't really bode well for me. Let's be honest. Trying to spin it nicely, but I don't have a chance actually. I've picked my opponent first round knockout. Scribbled down here is on the LFA and contender series. 18 wins to 6 losses compared to 9 and 3 for Charles Radke. Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of fucked now. I think about it. Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm fucked. I'm out of this thing already, but who knows, Charles Radke? Look, pull off the upset for me. Why don't you? I'd appreciate it if you could do that. Get me through to the third round. Just name your sacrifice, and I'll have it slaughtered by tomorrow evening. Promise. Ty Sumagomedov up next to take on the wheel. And he gets Ludovic Klein. I think that's pronounced as it's got about as many apostrophes as letters in that name, doesn't it? Ludovic KL. There's another apostrophe there in there somewhere. Klein. I have no idea. I know who I mean anyway. When I come to write that down later. And he's the favourite for the fight, and he should be, in my opinion. I can see why he's the favourite. He's just been consistent. He's been consistently winning those decisions, getting that streak together. But he's up against Thiago Moises, and Thiago Moises is one of my favourite fighters active at the moment. It's always very entertaining. I think the more eagle-eyed of you will notice I've actually got his Tapology page saved in my favourites. Simply because there was a time I was going back and checking his records quite a lot, and I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just save it as in my favourites bar. And so Thiago Moises has been a staple of almost every video I think I've made on this. So, but yeah, so there is that's just getting the personal bias out of the way. I have sided with him, but having said that, there's a reason I sided with him as well. He's a fucking good submission artist. He's in terms of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you need to, I think, to understand him, to realize just how good he is. You need to watch his stuff outside of MMA in the on the Brazilian jiu-jitsu scene. The I've forgotten the acronym for it. I can't think, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I can't think what the acronym is off the top of my head, but the ACDD double WC Deadwise thingamabob. The ones where they give out medals instead of belts. Anyway, it's he does quite well in those. So he's fuck. But yeah, no, he's always dangerous, and you can never write off somebody that good in the submission. So I'm not overly confident there in Tyson Magomedov's pick, but he is the bookie's favourite, so he's got that going for him. But I'm just not picking against my boy Thiago Moises. Going to win by third round knockout. Oh, no, it's the third round submission. What the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, third round submission there. That's Yeah, that's one thing I will say about him. I can't really see him getting many knockouts. Right, two more to get through before I completely lose the fucking plot. The MMA historian next. See who he gets drawn with. Ah, finally, a name I can spell. Brad Katona. He gets Brad Katona. It's I think first time Brad Katona. Yeah, Brad Katona's come up on this one, and yeah, that's Jesus Christ. I need to get need a drink or something. But anyways, heavy favourite. Probably the biggest favourite you could get on this card, isn't it? It's minus 650. In terms of British odds, I've no idea what that is. I think it's around 13 to 2 ish. I think I might be mistaken, but or 2 to 13 rather. Would be but anyway, he's a heavy favourite against Jesse Butler, and yeah, he's just well-rounded fighter. Really, he's proven several times he can go the distance. He's just better conditioning, better skill set. It's his mismatch. That's what it is. Frankly, on paper, it's a mismatch. Not necessarily a dangerous one. I wouldn't have thought for Jesse Butler. I can't see him getting finished, but yeah, no, that is it's. I can't see him getting a win either. So yeah, that's a very good pick anyway for the MMA historian. That's an almost guaranteed ticket to the third round. And now ex-con Chris. Let's see the final one to face the wheel this week. And he gets Dustin Jacoby, one of our co-main eventers. Dustin Jacoby there. Jacoby. With an E, no, just with a BY. And I've got him to win there by a second round knockout against Dominic Reyes, who's I'd love to be able to say Dominic Reyes is going to win, but because I do have a soft spot for him, but quite frankly, last few fights he's just fallen off a fucking cliff, hasn't he? Let's be real. Hiri Prochazka, that's a decent loss. Jan Blachowicz, again, decent high level loss. But then when you're getting knocked out by Stram, what's the first name? Oh crap, that's gonna bother me. Ryan Stram is this is a Superman, that's why I remember him by. But yeah, he's one of those. He's just it's sad to see his career fall off like that, but you do get fighters like that sometimes that after they just get to a point in their career and they're just after a few losses they just fall off, and that's what's happened with Dominic Reyes. It's a shame because he's one of only three people that can arguably claim a win over John Jones. Obviously, Matt Hamill actually beat John Jones. He beat himself well. He actually made John Jones beat himself by disqualification. So yeah, that takes some skill. And then obviously the other one I'm thinking of is you can make an argument for Alexander Gustafsson, but to win. But Dominic Reyes again, very close decision against Jones. You could argue he won that. I would say he did, but one way or another, he's just not been the same since. But anyway, we're just rambling on about Dominic Reyes there. He's Justin Jacoby's, who ex-con Chris has been drawn with. So long story short, that's a fairly comfortable pick there for ex-con Chris, and I can imagine I'm going to be reading his name again next week. So that wraps up the second round draw. Just quickly run through those names again. A with Punahales Soriano, as does C. Collins 44. Boom Shakalaka as Miguel Beza, as does who's the other one? Rigno. Captain Quebec with Montana Della Rosa. Costradamus and Damien Handel for 20 with Denise Gomez. Mason Zero, Bruno Ferreira. And me with Charles Radke. Let's be real. Tyson Magamenov with Ludwig Klein. Uh, the MMA historian with Brad Katona, and ex-con Chris with Justin Jacoby. So that's that completes the second round draw, and all the there's quite a few picks, just as a summary, which again I'm not confident in. So I reckon this could be another fairly high elimination rate for the from the wheel, who at the moment just he wants to wrap this up quickly. Or it could be a she, can don't know what the wheel's the sentinel object really. No gender involved there, but don't think the wheel bothers with pronouns. But anyway, the wheel wants to win, and I think it's done another number on you lot here for the most part. It's not something you've got some absolute bankers, some locks that are gonna coast you through to the third round fairly comfortably. But in any case, good luck to all of you. Good luck for if you've got any bets on this card, and good luck with your tips in general. Good luck with life in general. Let's be honest, we all need a bit of luck in life, don't we? And until next week, so long for now.